843 TV, where the Lowcountry comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. And welcome to 843 TV, and today I'm so delighted we're at the Beaufort County Animal Shelter. And who doesn't love our puppies, our cats, and everybody else that we have in our wild kingdom around here in the Lowcountry? I want to introduce you to Chris and Christine. They're very much part of the shelter because, well, Chris does animal service. You're out on call taking care of our animals or whoever calls, and I want to find out a little bit about that. And Christine, you know, very much a part of the adoption and all the services that we provide here at the shelter. And look who we have behind us. This little person, little guy. He's for adoption as well. Hello, you want a kitty cat? Look at that. All right, Chris, let's start with you.
Okay.
The day in the life, how your services are.
A lot of times, you know, with animal control, we get a variety of calls, leading from domestic animals to wildlife. A lot of our calls is to pick up animals, or you know, animals at large, or dealing with animals that have been mishandled or misabused. But our roles here at the animal shelter is basically to educate more than anything. We're very strong about that. Our director, you know, started that program. She brought me aboard, and that is our main goal, is mainly to educate more than confiscate. So that's our top priority.
So when we say educate over confiscate, we mean we want to teach people how to take care of their animals versus
Correctly.
taking them away. So such as, give us some ideas.
On how to keep them inside the house or keep them leashed. We also provide them with tools and trades for them to help them along, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of times we fall into hard times, and it's you know, everybody needs help, and they don't have enough help to take care of these animals. So our goal here is to educate them and also provide services for them.
Right. Well, that's really important as
Yes.
well. So we have our animals. I mean, when we're talking about wild animals, we're talking about squirrels, raccoons. Somebody's in the house. Somebody sort of got in the house or something like that.
We're talking about a wide variety of wildlife. We're trying to start a wildlife program and get that incorporated with animal control. But I mean, pretty much any type of wildlife. We are in the Lowcountry, so it's very variety.
All right, well, good. I'm glad. So tell us about Christine. When someone comes to the shelter, and first they're bringing in a stray.
Yeah, we have people who will find an animal out in the public, and they'll bring the animal into us, which is required by state standards. You have to, any animal that you find, you have to bring into us so that we can do our due diligence as charged by the state, to try to find the owner, to educate the owner if the owner is not aware of certain laws, such as running at large, you know, that your animal cannot be off of your property if they're not on a leash. So we try to educate them about that, and we give them warnings before we start citating, because we want people to keep their animals. We want them, we don't want their money. We want them to keep their animals safe, to keep the public safe when they are a pet owner.
Right. So when people bring in animals, I mean, do they actually bring in sometimes a wild animal? There's somebody that caught something?
Not so much when they walk in. I think the most interesting one that I have seen is somebody brought in a rabbit, you know, but that they found just wandering around. But mostly it's cats and dogs. I haven't seen, but we get phone calls all the time for wildlife: chickens, roosters, pigs, horses, cows, you name it. It comes through our phone lines.
Somebody got loose type of thing, and there's a cow walking down the street. Can you come get it? It's something like that. So how big is your vehicle?
We have standard vans. A lot of times we just, like for example, we had a horse the other day, and basically all we do is just catch the horse and bring him right back to its owner. So we do have a trailer that is actually for, you know, livestock, for cows and horses. But a lot of times what we try to do is get the animal to their proper location instead of bringing it back here, because we want them to go home.
Right, exactly.
You know, so, but we haven't had to bring anything here in a while, so most of the times we we're
Great.
pretty good with a lot of the farms around here. So
What an interesting day in the life here at the shelter.
oh,
Really,
it's never you never know what you're going to get. So
And plus, you have all these cute little guys, furry things around here. But I want everybody to understand that when you have a pet, there's a responsibility involved, right? And feeding it, taking care of it, not leashing it outside on a hot day. The summer's coming up, so those are programs that you put in place, correct?
yes, correct.
Right,
Correct.
right. We just make sure that the animal is properly taken care of by state standards. So there are no leash laws in the state of South Carolina. So an animal can be leashed or chained outside as long as it has proper food, water, and shelter, so that it can get out of the elements, that it can get cool when it needs to be, and that it has the proper food and water.
All right. Well, those are great tips for us. We'll be right back with more 843 TV, and because we're going to bring in an older dog that needs a great home.